Happy Wednesday to everybody here. I am Christina Heideck. I am your leader here in the PTA PTO Superstar Leaders group. And I'm the founder of PTO Answers, in case you don't know that either. And so it's the end of June, and today so we're in the middle of summer. Well, not the middle of summer. We're in the midst of summer break, I should say, most of us. I believe everybody here in the group is out of school. There might be a few stragglers, but hopefully everyone's been done. My kids have been done for over a month now, so it really does feel like the middle of summer break for me. And so I'm just having a nice time relaxing, but I thought that today would be a really good opportunity to talk to you about 3 mistakes that I see a lot of PTO leaders making during the summer, because for as much as we want summer to be a time to take a total break from everything, including everything in PTO land, I got to tell you, that'll come around to bite you in the tush in the fall and even in the subsequent months. So I just thought I'd go over today real quick, like just three mistakes that you might be making as a PTO leader, so that you don't have your butt bitten in the fall, right? So, all right. How many, I should say, one of the first mistakes that people make is that they kind of do wait until fall to figure it all out. Like, raise your hand if this is what you were planning on doing this summer. If you were just like, you know what, I'm taking a total break from PTO stuff and I don't want to deal with it. And so I'm just packing up everything I have and I'm not going to look at it until the fall. So if that is you, you can go ahead and just raise your hand in the group and let me know. I'm hoping that's not too many of you, because I'm figuring you wouldn't be hanging out in this group if that was you, right? So that's the number one mistake, really, is just waiting, just thinking you're going to take a break from everything and wait until the fall. And I'll tell you why that's such a huge mistake. In the fall, what happens? Everyone goes back to school and you have all of these brand new schedules to adjust to, and it's a super busy time. And I've found that if you are waiting to plan at the same time you need to be executing, it's not going to work out too well. You're going to be scrambling, you're going to be overwhelmed, it's going to be rushed, and it's not going to turn out the way you wanted, and you're going to be pretty unhappy. So you can avoid that situation by doing just a little bit of work for PTO stuff during the summer. And I'm not talking about looking at it every day or planning every single detail out. But if you just take a couple hours here or there to kind of get a general idea of what you want to be doing in your position, then it'll really help you. So if you're a president, think about, I've mentioned this before, like I think just a couple weeks ago, like set up an appointment to meet with your principal over the summer. They're working this summer. A lot of principals only get like 3 weeks off for the whole summer. So they're working all throughout the rest of break. So there's really an opportunity to meet with them. And the summer, like I mentioned before, is like a really great time to meet with them because they have a different schedule. They don't have so much on their plate, so that they have time to give you the full attention that you need and deserve, so that you guys can have a productive conversation. The other thing that I really see PTOs doing is they don't have a summer planning meeting, or they're not getting together at all, like the board members getting together. Back when I was president for the very first time, I didn't really know anybody. Like, I knew one person because we had been in the same alumni sorority group, so I kind of knew her, but she was the only person that I had even known for longer than 6 months at that point. And so I just invited everybody over for like a simple like social / planning. Like, it was just like, I called it just like a gathering. Who wants to come to a meeting during the summer? No, they don't really. So just call it a gathering and have some adult drinks and have some desserts, some chocolate's never a bad idea. And, my suggestion is just to combine the social and the planning part of it. For that summer, when I did bring everybody together, it was really nice because I ended up with a clear idea of who I could go to during the year, because not everybody came, which was telling. But then the people who did come, I really got to identify who was going to be my ally and who I could really go to if I had a problem. So it was super helpful for that. But I also find that if you're spending all the time when you're dealing with PTO stuff, like working, like if it's just always something else and else and else, and it's like never ending, hamster wheel sort of experience, it's not very enjoyable. And people are going to want to get off that hamster wheel as fast as possible. And when something happens, if you don't have like a personal connection with people, they're going to be really, really quick to like opt out of the whole thing, and rather than like weathering the storm with you. So I don't know if that makes sense to you or all. I hope it does. But basically, you need to build a relationship with people, and summer is the perfect time to do it. So adult drinks, chocolate, desserts. You can have people over to your house. You can go out to a restaurant. If nobody really wants to spend money, make it into like a dessert potluck and pick a place in a park. Like grab the nearest pavilion and just sit and chit chat, and kind of, during that time, I would recommend getting like an overarching plan of like what you want to be doing for the next year, so that you have some sort of an idea and some way to work from that. So like if you don't have very specific goals, which I would highly recommend you have, it gives you a place to go. If you don't really have any goals, then it's going to be really hard to figure out where you're going. But the planning meeting, I highly suggest it happen in like July. Usually what I like to do when I'm present is give like everybody May and June off, but then meet in July. So still give some people some time. If they haven't started planning, you can kind of nudge them in the right way and be like, hey, fundraising chair, like what are your plans for the year? Have you made contacts with your representatives? Like, how is that going? You can nudge them along, and that'll cue them to say, oh, I need to like reach out to people and get this going, so that when you come back for the very first meeting of the year, you're not just in that planning process. You're already, have very firm goals that you can work from. The last mistake that I see a lot of PTO leaders making is that they're not really looking at what's been done in the past when they are planning. So they're not looking at the past events to see what worked, what didn't work, what like event was so horrible that you just need to like stick a fork in it and say that you're absolutely done with it, and which ones can be resuscitated with a little bit of tweaking. Like if you're planning without that crucial information, your plans aren't going to be that good, and you're not going to be informed to make the right decisions about what to do in with your group, especially when it comes to like family events and programs. Like you could have the most wonderful event, but if nobody came to it last year and you're planning to do everything in the exact same way this year, you're going to be disappointed. I have a feeling. So you definitely want to take all that information into account so that you can base your plans off of them, because you always want to be improving. Like none of us are doing this to like waste our time. We're all doing this to make connections with others, better the school for our kids, which makes us have a better experience, because I don't know about you, but when my children are happy, I'm generally happy. And when they're unhappy, I tend to be unhappy, unless I'm the one making them unhappy, that is. So by enforcing like real rules. So those are kind of the three major mistakes that I see being made, is that waiting until fall, so you're not like having any sort of plan, and just winging it. Then not meeting as a group to discuss like general plans. Like you don't have to get super specific, but just general plans are like awesome. And then the last one is not looking at past events to plan your events going forward. Now, a lot of this you might be going, okay, this is great, but like we don't have any system in place to like to track our events, to make sure that we know what we've been doing and know what was successful and what we should be tweaking to go forward. And to that, I would highly suggest you check out one of the planners that I offer in my shop, and the one that has the most wide range of planners and trackers and all that goodness is the Presence Planner. And you can check that out at bit.ly/president planner. And I had a request last week. Someone asked like, hey, do you make planners for vice presidents? And I was like, oh, great idea. So I'm in the process of developing a membership planner. I already have my membership, let's see, what was it called? The ACE method. But I'm going to expand it slightly to incorporate a planner version, because I know a lot of people need like the organizational structure for their position to know exactly what they should be doing next. So in addition to the overarching guidance and suggestions, they need like the specifics. So I'm going to be just broadening that out and adding that in. If you are a fundraising chair and you're looking for a planner, I just added one into my shop last week. So you can go check that out. I didn't create a short link for that one. So just go to ptoanswers.com and click on the shop link, and you should see it under there under Leader Essentials. So, and speaking of ptoanswers.com, I think I announced this last week, but I've created a brand new home for PTO Answers, and it's quite beautiful. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure that you do that, because I've been quite remiss in adding new blog posts, but I'm going to start back up again. In fact, one is going live next Wednesday. I know it's July 4th, but just spoiler alert, I'm going to be at the beach again. And so I'm not going to be doing a Facebook Live next week, but I did plan a new blog post. So if you're really jonesing for a little bit of Christina next week, you can totally get that. And then I'll have a new blog post every week. So again, I just want to make you aware of just all the different resources. So we have this group, we have the weekly live streams, and then I also have a new video on the YouTube channel every week that's different from these live streams, and then I'll have a blog post too. So it'll all tie together and give you just like a whole host of resources to use. And then of course I have everything available in my shop that gives you like the physical tools and guidance beyond what we talk about in the group and beyond the advice. It kind of just takes everything just to that next level so that you have something actionable in your hands that you can use. So I hope this video has been super helpful to you. And like I said, next week, taking a week off so we can all celebrate and enjoy the holiday with our families. If you don't celebrate, then you can head on over to PTO Answers and get the post. And I think the post next week is all about how to partner with your principal. I've talked about it here in the group before, I think a couple weeks ago, but in the post it goes into a little bit more and a little bit different things than what I've talked about in the video. So you should definitely check that out. So I don't see anybody has any questions, so I'm going to hop off for now, but I hope you enjoyed this video. And oh, I know one more thing, one more ask. I've had so many asks of you to like, go check this out and go check that out. But if you have someone in your PTO who is not in the group, go ahead and invite them. It's a closed group so that we can keep the spammers and the scammers and the fake robots people profiles out. But that doesn't mean I don't want you to invite your friends. So if you have a friend that's not in the group and you're tagging them and you see them come up as gray, that means that they're not in the group. So go ahead and invite them to come. And please let them know that they should still answer the 3 questions, because the 3 questions is how we figure out who's like a legit person and who is coming in for not the right reasons. So, you know, share the love of this group. So, yeah, I will leave you with that last ask. So have a great rest of your day, and I will be back here with you in July for another great topic. So take care until then. Bye-bye.